Okay, friends, welcome once again to Look and Live. You're here with Pastor James Devallon, and I'm here with Mr. Darth Vader.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a good one for you. So I hope you're excited, ready to not only to be entertained, to be educated, but even more to be ministered to, right? Could we say that?
Yes,
All right.
that's hopefully the goal.
Hopefully, yes. So,
Food for the
um,
soul.
food for the soul. All right, well, let's get into the heart of this matter. People are coming. Okay, no one is in here yet, but they will be coming. Good. All right, everyone. Look, everyone. James is live. Okay, so notification is out, so people are coming in
Hmm.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just got it.
I think some of the things we might need to do is to like run the live stream a little earlier and let it run a good 5 minutes when people comes in. I noticed like
Yeah,
we doctor do like a 20 minutes and stuff, like a waiting period, which is really smart. So what? Sunny hosting says Jesus will lead the pride parades.
oh jeez.
This guy got issues.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna leave that
we're
for
we're gonna check that one out
yeah, another that's another night.
because
We have enough pain in the world to talk about
we
real issues.
we
Yeah,
we may have to save that for a rumble rant.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. This is not the time. Not the time.
Oh my word.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. Wow, man, it's crazy. Like it seems like every day people is discovering Tom McDonald. I notice a lot of YouTubers just like myself are just like, this guy Tom McDonald. He's like, hey, welcome. You just found out.
Yeah, I just popped in.
Oh boy.
Well,
Okay,
I also moderate the chat, so
that's awesome. That's awesome. It's good. Well, let me know, man. I'm ready when you are. We can begin with what we got. So let's look at that Colorado
I mean, we
shooting.
can we can give it a few minutes. Let's see if we can
Yeah,
let some people
you're
come
right.
in.
No problem. In the meantime, I think we can maybe play something short. Let me see what's going on here. Ah, what a life. I notice it allows me to share my screen only like certain parts of my screen. It's kind of weird. Um, like right now, I can share a video,
Hmm.
but only on the same. I'm guessing search. Um, so I'm using not Explorer. This one is Safari. So if I go on Safari, I can share my screen,
Mm,
but only Safari could be shared. So I need to figure out what's going on because I need to get some permission so I can get this thing going and whatever it is that
right.
I need to do. So I'm sure it's nothing impossible to do, but at least I can use the Bible, the online Bible app that I have on here, and set it up when it's time to share a word. So for those of you who are coming in, who's coming in now?
Somebody came in and popped out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Whew, boy, have you ever listened to Dar Man?
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
I have some of the things with him I agree with, some of the things I don't.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like his is kind of iffy on some of the things.
yeah. There's a lot of that little racist stuff in there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but
and
I think it's just
other isms and it's
yeah, 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 yeah. It's a little bit. I think it's very intelligent the work he's doing as far as you know. quality of the videos and so on. But I have somewhat of an issue with some of the messages as well. But I found some things were decent. I will say, not so bad. But over here, can't touch that. Anyway,
Pretty
like
much.
I like the creativity. I will say. Mm,
Yeah, he goes about it in a definitely different angle, different aspect of doing things.
yeah, I mean, you gotta be doing a lot. Um, yeah, he's live streaming something right now with 58K.
Mm,
Good for you. Yeah. So much more could be said about that.
right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. ABJ, you gotta turn off. Yep, just waiting for some more people to show up. Thank you. Here we go. Here we go. So, for example, I
Oh
can't be
dear.
this. I can't be
Oh
this
dear.
tired. I can't
Yeah,
be this
I was
tired.
gonna
Well,
say.
the truth is, I woke up. You know what? I actually can be because I woke up at 7.
Uh,
Oh yeah, I stopped my day early, so I worked night shift. Fell asleep at 1.
oof.
Not night shift. I worked till 11. Fell asleep at 1. Wake up at 7, and that's it.
Right.
So, get my son to school. Some doctor's appointments to get to, and a number of things to do, and yeah, it's been interesting. Very
I
interesting.
remember those days.
I remember those days. You don't have those type of days anymore, do you?
No, no, not anymore.
Thank God. Enjoy it while
Uh,
you can.
you know, some days I kind of miss it, and some days I don't.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Hello. Somebody just popped in. Glad to see whoever's here.
Hey, hey, join us. Welcome. We're gonna get started here. I'm just playing with some things, waiting for some people to join the live stream. For some, they get the notification a little late. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We just gotta have a consistent schedule in our meetings as well, which I plan on working on.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too is we gotta have a consistent stream
A
schedule
stream
too.
schedule and have it scheduled ahead of time, hours before kind of thing. Wish I could have done that
Yeah.
today. But we didn't talk about the agenda. I think it's good to speak about the agenda like a day in advance. So I can work on the thumbnail and yada 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 need to be do. Work in progress. Certainly.
We'll get there.
Step by step. It's been amazing, man. God is good. Let me put it that way. Screen share, permission. There we go. Screen sharing. So it is here. Yep. Oh, okay. So all users. There we go. Yeah, that's interesting. The screen sharing thing was clicked off um,
Mm,
on the MacBook. Well, iMac. That's why I'm not a fan. I'm
gotcha.
not a fan of iMac, honestly, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit in the meantime. So, what is your perspective concerning Mr. Trump? I know you said it's a little step, right? Concerning Trump's being reinstated to Twitter on the 21st.
Being reinstated to Twitter. Well, I think it's a good thing. He's already got over, I think, 50,000 followers on Twitter.
More than that, he was in the 86 million.
Or, yeah, million. Sorry, misspoke.
That is a huge. Well, I know
Yeah,
some followers were lost. They had to be given back to him, but
right.
he's grown
Like,
tremendously plus.
he's been growing huge leaps and bounds. Whether people love him or hate him, they're going to follow him one way or another.
Yeah,
Um, Although I believe, and I'm not 100% certain on this, but he may have a contract with True Social that they get first dib exclusives on anything he puts out.
I heard about that. That he can't just go directly on Twitter
Right.
because he's, which I respect that.
And yeah, I mean, after all, the guy is the one that made the platform. So, I mean, so I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to see he'll put out something on True Social and probably like, I don't know what the contract is or whatever, but maybe hours or a day later he'll put out something on Twitter
Hmm.
that's the same exact thing that he put out on True Social, or he'll put out something on Twitter that says follow me on True Social for more, you know, and stuff like that. And I think
Hmm.
that's where, because you have that many followers on Twitter, you can't just ignore it.
True.
You just can't, because that's a huge following. And if you're going to be running for president, you need that. You need that exposure.
True. And that's what I was thinking is that he has to find a way to combine both platforms in a way, make it work for him, make them
Hmm.
work for him.
Because he doesn't have that kind of a following on True Social.
But again, he has to keep in mind that a lot of the discussions that are happening on Twitter, he has a much stronger impact in on Twitter because of the diversities and stuff. True Social has a lot more Republican leaning discussion. But if you're trying to really make an impact, you kind of have to step back on the Twitter platform to make your points. Although you're gonna be attacked a lot more being there as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like you it's like you have to be a light to the world kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to get back in the ring.
Yeah, you got to. Unfortunately,
So,
even though sometimes we don't want to do that.
I mean, it is what it is, I mean, sometimes that's the hand that life deals us. And that's the thing about Trump is he's always been able to figure out a way to make it work one way or another.
Yeah. Well, one thing is certain, he's good because
Hmm.
he's heading the right direction. If you were to ask me, I think yeah, I've grown to appreciate Trump a lot. I can say that now, but before.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of delving into with you only look at him at a surface level. Yeah, I could understand why somebody may not like him,
Hmm.
you know. But if you dig a little deeper than just the surface, he's not a bad person. And, he actually does care about this country and wants what's best for everyone in it.
That's true. That is true. Oh well,
I mean, after all, the man's track record speaks for itself.
and I think that's what we really need to take a look at. For those of us who have an issue with Trump, we have to consider his work. Actions speak louder than words. This is where we have to say, what does he have to show for? From my
Exactly.
research, I'm like, man, he has a lot to show for. Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, he's done do his work. Let's give him godly respect for that. Let me see something here. Okay, so the streaming is on.
Yeah.
It is all right. Well, let's get to it. Let's begin. If they
Yeah,
come
I
in, they
think,
come in.
and then
They get.
they come in, they come in.
Oh,
They
oh,
can watch the
I
restream.
see. So this says this is an error. Please try again. So
Well,
there is an error with. I'm watching my screen right now. It's telling me there's an error in the streaming. Oh, okay. Wow. So let's try this again. Error. Please try again later. Yeah, I think he. Let me look at my. Do you see it on your YouTube? Well, YouTube is live. Okay.
yeah, YouTube's live.
It's telling me there was an error when streaming it on YouTube itself. I was trying to figure out
No,
what it.
I see it live.
Okay, so we should be good. Okay, hey, let's do this thing. Well, we have another person with us. I'm not sure who the person is.
All
All
right.
right, well, let's begin. Let's get into this mass shooting at the Colorado nightclub. Let's
All
talk about
right.
that because it's a heartbreaking situation, and
So,
we don't want to be getting used to stuff like this ever. There he is. All right. Let us know where you're joining us from. For those of you who are coming in, um, you, so I see the Facebook doesn't send a notification, so it tells me it's not. Yeah, it's not live on Facebook. Yeah, there's something wrong with the streaming. I guess it's not shooting everything in the
hmm,
direction that it's supposed to. Um, elbow bump.
could it could it be your MacBook?
Possibly, but I know that Facebook is not connected to Facebook, but it's not running.
Right.
Uh, anyway, we are gonna continue here. We are on a time limit, and by 9 o'clock, I gotta get this guy to bed. All right,
Right.
we have people coming in slowly, but it looks
All right. So,
it looks like the notification wasn't sent out for everyone. All right, are you ready?
uh, I'm ready when you
All
are.
right, all right. Might as well. Want to switch the screen?
It didn't.
I'm sorry.
Am I not sharing it?
You are, but you don't have the article up. You have like the YouTube thing running right now. I'm not sure if you shared the wrong
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Yeah, you might have to do.
All right. Let me try this again.
Yes,
I
yes.
just
A
I just do it this way.
cold brewed coffee. What's going on?
Ah, hey, my friends. These are friends that I do gaming with.
Oh, really?
They said they might stop by,
Gaming? Like what kind of games?
like online games
Oh,
and
really?
video
What kind
games
of
and
game?
stuff
What kind
like
of
that.
game you play?
Uh, like Fallout 76, stuff like that.
Fallout 76? Is that a
Yeah,
like a soldier game kind of?
it's it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic online MMORPG.
What? You gotta tell me more about that. I used to be a gamer.
So basically, think of it as World War III happened, but the setting for it is in everybody lived in like the 1950s.
Oh, it reminds me of Call of Duty. What was the game? Call of Duty Black Ops. Have you ever played that? That's how
No.
far I've left video game. So that's like that's 2010 maybe 2008
Right.
ish. Yeah, but Black Ops
But
had like the old school guns kind of feel to it. But hey,
right. And so they they basically with Fallout the idea is land's been ravaged with nuclear weapons, but a select few were put in vaults
Uh,
as experiments by this company called Vault
oh
Tech.
boy. And you
And
have to team up in a way to.
you're a survivor who's come out of the vault, and now you're exploring the wasteland of what's left.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
I'm
It was
sure.
a little rough at the start, but it's come a long way since then.
Somebody said basically you collect battle caps and run around with a German Shepherd.
Well, yeah, that's kind of Fallout 4ish, but yeah,
It
you don't get
simplifies
the
it.
German Shepherd in 76.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. I used to be a huge Call of Duty gamer kind of thing. So yeah, please
Yeah,
release on October 1990. So is that the date it was released, or is that a new? Is just
October 1977 was the date the first Fallout was released. Yes,
wow. So the one you're playing now is like a newer version of that.
yes,
Oh, cool. All right, look into that.
it was released. When did 76 came out?
Yeah. I mean, you have to have a whole system for that, right? You have to buy certain software and so on.
No, uh-uh.
It's all done on your computer.
I, it's all on my computer. It's on Steam.
Steam. What is that?
Hmm.
I tells you. I
So
tells you how far how much I know.
Steam is a platform for gamers to be able to buy games
And
and
play it
run the game
right on that.
and play them. Yep,
Uh,
right on your PC.
oh, that's
Yep.
interesting.
So 76 came out October 23rd, 2018.
Oh, got it.
And that's the latest installation of Fallout.
Wow.
Before that, it was the one Colbrew was talking about with the German Shepherd, which is Fallout 4. And then the one before that was New Vegas, which by majority of the people there's a bit of a debate between 3 and 4, whether or not 3 and 4, but 3 in New Vegas, which one's more popular and which one's the better game.
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
Wow, that's a good way to connect.
I personally like New Vegas because you play in the Los An not Los Angeles, geez, uh, the Nevada
Mm,
area
yeah.
around Las Vegas,
Huh.
and you actually go down the Las Vegas Strip.
That's interesting. You made
Listen,
you made me
Colbrew,
want to go.
we'll talk about this later,
You made me
buddy.
want to go. You made me want to go play the game. Um.
It's a really good game. We can look into it later if you want to.
Yeah, certainly. I don't care. I like to play like soccer. That might shock you. I have a younger brother who plays soccer, so I'm like, hey, man, let's play some FIFA. But not all the time. Probably like once or twice a year. But once I play it, I'm really good at it. Actually, I used to be a huge Call of Duty player and stuff like that. Um, I'm not. I don't know how to use an online computer for game. I don't know how you guys do that. I would like my remote and kind of thing. So that will be another training session for me.
Oh no, this is all keyboard and mouse.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's
No, no.
the best. That's the best way to do this is keyboard and mouse, my man.
Ah, man, you gotta have those fingers. Well, you become an expert after a while.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You get used to it. There's a bit of a learning curve, but you'll get used to it. Trust me.
Yeah. Somebody said, let's get to the Storm video, right? Let's do it. We were waiting for some people to join us. I'm not sure what's happening with the streams. It seems like they're getting a late notification of that. So let me
All right.
respect your time. We can talk about games later on. So can we talk about this article and then we're gonna move to Tom and transition and go and do what we need to be doing here. Yeah, we have an article we're gonna share with you very quickly, guys, and this is dealing with that shooting that happened in Colorado. Gunman kills
I,
five. Can you see it?
bad person does bad things in Colorado
Yeah,
at a
yeah,
nightclub. Remember, YouTube friendly.
yeah. I got you. Bad person does bad thing in Colorado, LGBT nightclub, before he is stopped by Patreons. So I think two people actually stopped him. Um, where do we go with that? Can somebody say, "I've heard this once too many"? Because,
Right.
but the danger is that we become immune to it. We begin to think, it is what it is. Another one of those again. And I think that's where we need to be careful because this should never become normal for us.
Yeah,
We
I
should be
think
on.
I think that's like the biggest problem is stories like this have become so normalized that people are becoming desensitized to it.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's very dangerous. Sorry about that.
yeah, absolutely. You know. So according to the article, Badman oh, did bad things inside of the night spot in Colorado late on Saturday,
Hmm.
deleting at least 5 people and injuring 25 others before being stopped by heroic club goers, police said.
Mm,
Authorities on Sunday said they were investigating whether the was motivated by hate.
mm,
Police identified the suspect as Anderson Lee Aldrich, 22, and said he used a
mm,
type a long pew pew. He was
mm.
taken into police custody shortly after the pew pewing began and being treated for injuries, according to officials.
Yeah,
So this goes to show you something that I have been screaming from the rooftops for a very long time,
which is-
that these gun free zones and stuff just paint giant targets on whoever's there.
hmm,
And that basically people who want to do bad things look for the people who are most vulnerable
true.
or that they think are the most vulnerable and are going to go after them accordingly.
Got you. Got you. Um, I mean, I would like to send out firstly my condolences to the families because regardless of how this has happened, you know, like you said with the laws, which I totally respect, this it shouldn't be
Anyone,
happening in
yeah,
these in yeah any families or any person who is experiencing that level of pain,
and loss.
yeah, and lost. I want to my prayers are with you and thinking about you. Reach out however possible that we can help because I know some people that are in this channel. Some of them are part of the LGBT community. We may have our differences, but at the end of the day, we are still human beings. We are family. Um, yeah, certainly. I know that's gonna take some time to heal, and yeah, you need somebody to talk to. We are here. Um, you want to open up? You want a platform where you can share your perspective? This one is open to use as well. But going back to what you were saying, it's just we can talk about the guns. I think
It,
all day
the
because
pew
it's the
pews.
same. Yeah, the pew pews are. Yeah, I know. I got to learn those new language.
got
It's not
got
my
to
thing.
got to work on that.
Yeah, one of the
But
family members who was, should I say, canceled or deleted, um, is someone that I mean, one of the person who passed away, is someone that I know.
mm,
So yeah, I had that is very that close to that hit really close to home, really close to
right,
home, and I had to call the mother yesterday, and she was devastated, man. It was very hard to hear her voice, and I could only pray for her and and give her a word of encouragement and be, hey, I'm here for you. So is my wife. Our family's here for you to support you. But I don't want to be a mother going through that. You remember
So
the days, man, when mothers use to be buried by their children, but today children are no, yeah, children used to bury their mothers. Now mothers are burying their children like crazy today.
the one you've heard my testimony, and the one thing that always stuck with me about my father's passing was something my grandmother said,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she never said it to me directly, but I heard it in passing.
Mm,
Was that no parent should ever have to bury a child.
yep, never. Hey, Janice, we want to say hi. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we should never. That should never be the case.
And
And
that doesn't matter if they're,
mm,
5 or 25 or 55. It hurts all the same.
yeah, I think the danger is our culture, our society has seen this so many times. We can become desensitized to it and call it normal,
Hmm.
but it's not.
And that's the thing is you see here, the only thing that probably stopped him, and the only thing that would stop him, is somebody else with equal and opposite
Mm,
force.
good point, because people are saying we gotta get rid of these guns, and I've listened to a video by a number of LGBT protesters in Colorado. They were hurting, and which I get it. But part of the thing they were saying, part of their message was, let's get rid of these guns and let's stop demonizing gay or lesbian and so on, because people will feed on that hate to do this to us.
Well,
I mean,
it's
I
not,
get it though. I
and
get the fact that people are going through stuff, and I know sometimes as a result of the emotion and the pain, we say things. But
that's I think that's like the common knee jerk reaction.
true.
But the problem is, if they actually stop and step back and think about the situation and what happened,
Hmm.
it was actually the pew pews that saved probably more, many more
Hmm. Hmm. That's when you
than
need to pay attention to, um, yeah, a good man with a pew pew versus a bad man with a pew pew.
you know.
Unfortunately, the bad man doesn't care about your laws.
No,
The more restriction you have, the better it is for him.
yeah, exactly. It's like putting a wolf in a herd of sheep.
Hmm. There we go.
It's just something you don't want.
So Janice says pew pew don't hurt people, nuts do.
Exactly, exactly, Janice.
Yeah. And the thing is, I wanted to say is, I know the LGBT, and I'm not taking away from the pain, but you have to also realize this has been happening to all types of people. We had Uvalde, we had mosque, we also had synagogues attacked like this, we had
Hmm.
churches attacked like this.
It's just you don't
So
hear about them.
yeah, it's just happening everywhere. When people say, is this a hate crime? Well, it is. You got to be motivated by a level of hate, but to say I'm motivated by a level of hate for these specific groups of people, I mean, it could be true, but the thing is hate no matter how it is manifest itself. But I just don't like when they say, is this a hate crime, as if people are targeting
It-
only these group of people, which I'm like, that's not what's happening
or
here.
that's their only motivation, is
Yeah,
to get
yeah. For
this
me, yeah.
particular demographic.
No, I think, like you said, it's just people that are vulnerable, weak, unarmed.
Or that they see as
Yeah,
vulnerable, weak, or unarmed.
mass shooters look for the weakest among us. They actually do not want to confront another man with a pew pew. That's not the goal.
No.
Their goal is to take down as many as possible.
I mean, you go back just a couple of months, look at the guy in the mall.
Yeah,
The
they were
mall was
confronted.
a gun-free zone, and luckily somebody decided to ignore that and had a concealed carry with him
Yeah,
and took action and saved
hundreds
countless
of.
lives.
Yeah, even though they still spoke about him in a negative, which I've heard on
Hmm. On
on the view,
multiple news
on the
channels.
View and many others.
Don't even get me started about that cackling
The
bag of
man should be looked
cronies.
upon as a hero, but he was styled
Absolutely.
a villain, at least a vigilante kind of thing, which is so
No.
weird.
It's not like he's no, a vigilante is not what he is. He's not going around at night dressed in a mask trying to find people to do this to. He
Hmm.
happened to be in a situation that required him to take action to save the lives of others.
Mr.
S-
E, what's going on, my friend?
Hey,
Yeah,
mystery.
that's
Same
that's
thing
a
here,
that's a huge difference.
and that is the same thing here. And
Yeah,
generally that's what you find. Same
hmm,
thing with the church in Texas.
that's right. That's right.
You had the same thing there.
Hmm.
Like people, responsible gun owners don't go around looking for a reason to shoot someone.
Hmm.
You know, we just want to live our lives in peace and defend our friends and family. That's it.
That's right.
And we want our rights and we don't want
Respon-
them taken away from us. Period.
responsible gun owner is a key word here. I think so many are irresponsible, childish, mentally sick, a lot of other factors to consider. And I think
Hmm.
taking away the pew pews is not the solution.
No, because
We just leave people open for.
what does a criminal care about your laws? If he's already breaking one law to commit a murder, or
Hmm.
sorry, deletion,
Cancel.
um, what does it matter if he goes out and buys another pew pew illegally? That's just
Mm,
another law he's breaking. Who cares to
yeah,
him?
yeah.
You know, what does it matter to him if he's breaking one law, two laws, three laws, four laws? It doesn't make a difference.
Hmm.
As far as he's concerned, it's all the same to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, we just wanted to stop by, touch on this subject slightly in Colorado, just to
and
send
give
some
our
love, send some encouragement, and we know we have our takes regarding some of the reasons why this has happened. There is no justification for it. We live in a time where evil walks among us. It's just the truth that we just don't know um, when the next one is gonna take place. But this year alone, we've seen way too many, and I don't think we should ever come to a point where we get used to that. There are many different factors we need to consider, but I wanted to send some love, encouragement, prayer to the families who've been impacted by this. Um, I know the LGBT community is also hurting, so we send our love and respect and prayers to you as well. And if you need a friend to talk to, we are here.
hmm
We are here.
absolutely.
There is no judgment here. There is, because we have a much bigger issue to worry about, and your pain is to me is like that's what matters right now, and we want to make sure we acknowledge that and reach out to you in as much as possible to make a difference. You know. All right. There's a friend in you. You have some friends around here. We're not enemies at the end of the day. We are friends. So
All right.
quickly, I want to share this. Look at this, guys. This is coming from Romans 8:15, 18. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. That is one. And I look at 28 as well. Um, know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So a lot could be said about this, but I will say this. No matter how messed up things might be, if your faith in God is real and genuine, he has a way of using it for his glory and heal you from from those experiences, negative ones, and build you back up and make you stronger than before. And if I were to say anything to the community who's been impacted and families who are hurting, take your burden to the Lord, take your pain and sorrows to God, and let Him be your healer. He can meet you where you are, in your emotional stage, in your sorrows, in your pain. He has a way of dealing with that, and I can tell you stories after stories about how I've seen God doing this in my own personal life. Take it to the Lord first, and then know that there are people like myself and many others who can also sympathize and meet you where we are, where you are. Okay, so at the end of this live stream, we're gonna keep you in prayer, and I'm gonna continue to do that throughout the week as well. All right, let's move on to another part of our discussion. I think you're gonna need to share your audio for the next one. So what do we have?
I believe I have it.
Okay.
Shared.
Hey guys, we're gonna talk about Tom McDonald. I know you've been waiting patiently. Yeah. I have pew pew in case I need it. Pray I never have to use it. Yep. Yep.
You got this one?
I have many. Yeah, that's correct. We're gonna play that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly, Janice. That's what we're saying. Hey Vegas, what's going on with you? It's good to have you back with us here. All right, let's get into this thing. We have a nice little, I will say, artist review. I guess this YouTuber. What is his name? Do you have a name? Give him credit.
That guy with the hat.
That guy with the hat. So I have a link to his YouTube channel in the description. Go show him some love. That guy with the hat, I think, did somewhat of a decent analysis or review of Tom McDonald's career, but we're gonna talk about some things to add to that as well. But I'll let you take a listen to Tom, and I also want to get your perspective on Tom. Where do you guys stand when it comes to Tom McDonald? How do you see him as an artist? Is the big question. So I want to read your comments. How do you see Tom McDonald as an artist? Where do you see him going? So I would like to hear what you think. So while you guys are doing some thinking, how about we get into the heart of this thing? Go ahead, Darth Vader. Yeah, the audio hasn't been shared. I can tell because I'm not hearing the echo. The audio hasn't been shared. I can tell because I'm not hearing the echo.
Okay.
There's an echo I'm gonna get when you share it. You have to actually undo. You have to go back. Yep. Share it again and then add the audio.
I gotcha.
Hang tight, people. Hang tight.
Welcome to the technical difficulty stream.
We're doing just fine.
We'll figure it out someday.
Yeah, I just gotta get my PC back. When I get my PC back, we can get the flow going here.
All right, let's see if this works.
All right, let's see.
Every so often, a one-of-a-kind artist.
That work?
It works fine. Can you restart it?
Yeah. Ready when you are. And here we go.
Every so often, a one-of-a-kind artist emerges in the music industry, and for some reason or another, they quickly become famous. Whether it's Eminem or Kendrick Lamar or a J. Cole, someone arises from out the woodwork and make waves among us. There are countless reasons why someone will suddenly become a meme or notorious for a distinct idea. It can be anything from aggressive and strategic marketing to the algorithm selecting you to be the face of the latest narrative being promoted. In the case of Tom Macdonald, what led him to suddenly top the charts? There are a few contributing elements that came together into a recipe for Tom's success amongst many battling to rise to the top. One of those factors is the message that he stands on. Tom is what I like to call the resistance. He has this incredible ability to conceptualize modern culture's biggest issues and encapsulate them into a song. This is easier said than done. Writing relevant content has always been a difficult task for every poet or musician. One can easily identify complex issues within society. However, the challenge presents itself when you attempt to put it into art form so that your target audience can connect to it. Tom Macdonald appeared to have mastered this. Many tried over the years, but few became popular for it. Somehow it worked in this rapper's favor. But why is that? It's maybe due to
Okay. So to start out with, that wasn't always necessarily the case. I think in the beginning, it was because he was very controversial. And that's how he started. And now as he's grown as an artist and how he's evolved over time, now we're starting to see this as what he's talking about here. But in the beginning, it was you either loved Tom Macdonald or you hated him with an immense passion. So I think that's what the difference is between the two. And that's what he was like, a force of nature.
Okay, I'm sorry. Stepped out to put BJ to bed quick. Can you say what you've said again?
So I think what got Tom started on his path was that he was more of a force of nature to be reckoned with, and he had more of a controversial nature than what we see now. He's looking at the Tom of now in this statement that he was talking about, where he's more polished and he's bringing issues to light in a very artistic way and a relatable way and things like that. Yes, that's Tom now. Go back a while, Tom was more of like a wrecking ball force of nature, just bringing it in your face.
Okay.
And people were either love him or hate him. He was more of a force of nature back then.
Yeah, but I guess somebody will say his fame and his status has completely increased when he took advantage of the condition of society and started incorporating that in his song. I will say, right? Would that be correct? He's always been.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say more of it was him growing as an artist and using the social climate and what has been going on and seeing what's going on and just being able to really express himself as an artist, free of the bonds of any record label and completely independent of anyone that has allowed him to do this.
Makes sense.
And that's what has made Tom who he is. At the end of the day, Tom is still Tom. Like, he's still really a down-to-earth person who the money hasn't gone to his head. He doesn't like got an ego or anything like that or think he's better than anybody else. Sure. He's there for his fans.
That's a huge difference. Vegas says I wonder how he got so famous when he says things others get canceled for. I think this is when the fan base comes in. Would you agree?
Absolutely, 100%.
He has a strong backing.
that's where the Hog Fam comes in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and Hangover Gang, we we we're with Tom. We got his back,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that, and think we all love him, and he gives us that back in return through his music, and it's a mutual exchange.
That's a huge difference. Yeah.
And the
Once
fact that
you
he
once
stays
you
independent.
once you are in that chat room in that Discord family hangover gang, you know what? There's a lot of love in there, man.
Hmm.
These people are busy. I mean, it's like the words are just flowing off the screen. Like I'm like, and all day, all night. It's like it's
Oh
nonstop.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, do they
I've
even go
been
to
up
sleep?
chatting with people until like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
in there.
they don't sleep. I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
it's not that they don't sleep. It's just because they're from different parts of the
different
world.
parts of the world. Yeah,
Because it's not like the Hog family is just limited to the U.S. It's You got people from Australia, you got people from Germany, you got people from the U.K. I mean, it's a global thing. It's not just the U.S.
that's powerful. That's powerful.
And everybody can relate to what Tom is putting out in his music, and that's what makes him so unique.
Yeah, Mr. E said Tom's has no one to answer to.
And that's the biggest thing about him.
Yeah,
He has no overlords. It's him and Nova, and basically his family.
that's
That's
right.
it.
Yeah, okay.
But the two major drivers are him and Nova.
Yeah,
They're the ones that make the magic happen.
that's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful.
So
All right, let's keep going. I'm sorry, I'm not getting any sound from you.
hmm?
There's no sound coming through the video. Oh, I'm sorry, I muted it. So can you do back back it
Back it
up?
up. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Climate. We are in the post-Trump era. When Trump crept into office, he sent a shockwave through all of Congress. Fear fell upon all the career politicians as someone not of their own was now in charge. He brought agitation to the whole political machine and declared war on the deep state. As a result, politicians launched their biggest weapon on Trump, a smear campaign. This was so successful that even those who supported him were assaulted for even speaking his name. This then led to the whole country being divided on almost every political and social issue imaginable. This gave power to the cancel culture. As a result, social justice warriors infiltrated the schools and almost every social media platform. They began controlling the narrative by using fact-checking tools and censorship tactics. For a season, these methods were very efficient. However, the resistance began to rise. Amongst the opposition was Tom Macdonald. Now, there's a huge difference between riding waves and making waves. It's very easy to simply make music to support the current narrative. For example, if the feminist movement appeared to be the current focus, simply make music or movies bashing patriarchy or degrading manhood. If the alpha
So I don't know why he brought the whole Trump thing into this, because Tom is kind of indifferent to Trump. He's neither for Trump or against Trump. Um,
I
he's
guess he's
just
talking
like,
about the culture that Trump set up for Tom's success. That's what I was getting.
the problem with that is the culture was already there in place.
Okay.
And this was happening all this infiltration and stuff that he started talking about was already there. The only thing Trump did was speed it up.
Yeah, yeah. Buttress.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, he could have just completely done away with that section and just talked about what was happening socially.
yeah,
Didn't have to bring Trump into this at all.
yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely Trump. he did say, "I'm gonna come to drain the swamp." So I get I guess Trump's presence kind of brought out those creatures in the swamp
Hmm.
in droves, in a sense. So that kind of helps setting the stage for a lot of what I guess you will say Tom McDonald somewhat step, like his words become life, because for me it's like if it wasn't for the cancel culture, the Trumpers, the anti-Trumpers, I probably would have never thought of Tom McDonald in that sense. So I've heard of Tom McDonald, but it was more like I've ignored him.
Right.
So for me, it's like, oh yeah, another rapper talking, yada yada yada. For me, I just put him in the categories of rappers until
And if that was the
I listened to one song.
and if
When
that
I
was the
listened to,
case, I probably would have never found your channel.
yeah, you never. I've been on YouTube since 2016, so so when I listen to one song and I say, wait, that's not just another rapper. And part of the reason why his words were able to minister to me is because it was so relatable to what was
Hmm.
going on in the culture currently that was troubling me. And then here is this guy talking like this. I'm like, oh, like, wait a minute, like, what is this?
And
So it
and
was a
my thing
shocker for
is,
me.
and my whole thing is, if you go back to like the first video that ever attracted me to Tom was White Boys, or not White Boys, White Boy.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
where he's in the school and he's
just
saying, "White
addressing the
boy,
racism.
don't say that, white
Yeah,
boy."
yeah,
So I mean, that video came out long before Trump ever ran for office.
good point.
So Tom's been doing this long, and he's been seeing all this cultural stuff going on long before Trump ever got into office. And that's my point, is just because Trump got into office and accelerated their plan doesn't mean this stuff wasn't happening before Trump got into office. And doesn't mean that Tom wasn't rapping about it prior to that either. Let's not take away the accomplishments that Tom has made just, you know, on a whim.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
So let me read some comments here. Trump and Tom are similar in the fact that they both have opened so many people's eyes to what is going on in the background that usually goes unnoticed. Trump exposed the swamp in media's beat bias. Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
that's
My
the
my
part.
my whole rant about this though is he didn't have to mention Trump in any of this, and it still would have been accurate.
True. All right, let's continue.
Attack the traditional institutions that promote heterosexuality. This is how you ride waves and play it safe. Consequently, you may quickly get views and clicks. However, you will begin to look ridiculous and incompetent as you can't make sense of some of this stuff. As you can't make some of this stuff up. Now, this is where Tom McDonald begins to create waves. Now, Tom McDonald at some point had issues of mental health that most likely were birthed out of the current state of society. He wrestled with suicidal thoughts and heavy drinking, and to be honest, who can
Go ahead.
So the issues that he had been dealing with as far as his mental health, he's stated on multiple occasions,
Yeah,
have come from his years of drug abuse and alcoholism,
true.
and trying to get away from that and break free of that, because he was using those things as a coping mechanism for the way he felt. It had nothing to do with society.
No, no, I've listened to that interview he had with Officer Tatum, so he made
Mhm.
it clear. I think this guy is doing somewhat of a decent job. He could have done a much better job doing some research because there's a lot of information about Tom out there.
That's
I think
yeah,
he didn't get all these facts correct.
yeah. So
I
I,
I
I
agree.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, good point.
However, he overcame it to a degree just enough to undertake the attitude he needed to put it all on the line for the change in the world. This low point in his life may have very well been the crucial point he needed to be at to take on the political machine that controls the narrative. Little did he know there would be a whole army of people who shared his sentiments waiting for him. Tom supporters are the most loyal people you can ever find. The main reason is that they understand and appreciate the amount of guts one would need to take up an ostracized opinion in the culture. Not only that, but it also takes huge balls to make music and anthems speaking on these unpopular and heavy censored topics. His fans decided to fight tooth and nail to push and promote these messages in his music at every turn. So if you ask me, they are the real heroes. There's nothing more.
And that's something that Tom says every time he speaks, is that if it wasn't for the fans, he wouldn't be who he is and where he is now.
Period. Yeah. Yeah, Hangover Gang is like they really make things happen. I mean,
Yeah.
without Hangover Gang, I don't think my YouTube channel would have blown up as fast as it has, because they took my videos and shared them. You get they give you the thumbs up. They promote my videos in the chat. In Yeah, I mean, these people, it's crazy. Like, without the fan base, really.
Yeah. And Tom, and that's the beauty of Tom, is he understands this and appreciates it, I think, more than anyone,
Which is great.
to the point where it's almost heartbreaking for him if he doesn't put out the best possible product he can for his fans.
Right? He has a sense of accountability to them for their loyalty to him, as far as
Exactly.
loving and caring and being there emotionally and
Having his back,
financially. Yeah, absolutely.
So it, like I said, that's the give and take relationship he has with his fans in the Hog fam. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is.
And it's a very rare thing that you find in this day and age.
Yeah, not that level of love and respect and relationship that they have with each other. When you watch the video of my fans, you get it.
Yeah.
You get what's going
Especially
on.
if you watch the extended version,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have the extended version
Yeah,
that,
it's like 42 minutes, I think.
it's like 45 minutes long, where
Yeah.
he puts every video that was submitted to him in to make sure that everybody who sent him a video got their time in the spotlight,
That's beautiful.
because he didn't want to disappoint anybody.
That's beautiful.
I mean,
Way to go.
that's how Tom rolls.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's keep going.
More precious than a community of people standing for what's right and honorable. These people go by the name Hangover Gang, or aka HOG. Amongst the Tom supporters appears to be the music reactors as well. Music reactors don't appear to get enough credit. Reactors share a special place amongst content creators. They are the marketers of YouTube. These people bring to light music and artists people would not otherwise go out the way to find. They introduce and promote artists free of charge. Often they can't monetize these videos that they spend hours editing and recording. Nonetheless, they bring to light people like Tom Macdonald to further expand their reach. As a result of Tom Macdonald's integrity to stand against these issues, many conservative talking heads began looking into his music. One of the main reasons they began to jump on the Tom train is due to their stance on free speech, which is currently under attack. Tom Macdonald appears to be one of the biggest proponents of free speech in the music industry. Free speech is one of the rights that needs to be practiced responsibly for it to work successfully. As many have stated before,
Okay. Now, when he says practice responsibly, I'm sorry, you either have free speech or you don't. There is no in between.
You got that. You pick up on that one, huh?
Yes, I am calling that one out to the mat because we already have laws where, yes, unless there's a call to action, that's illegal. Yes, I
Yeah.
get that. That's
Abs-
perfectly fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But for the majority of
Hmm.
what people think as hate speech, it
It's
doesn't exist. It's just
speech.
speech that people don't like.
Speech that you hate.
Like Tom said,
Yeah.
there's a difference between hate speech and hate speech that you hate. I'm sorry. Free speech is free speech. You either have it or you don't.
You don't.
There's no in between.
That's simple as that. You picked up on that. I'm glad you did.
All
All
right.
right. Let's keep going.
You may have the freedom to say something lawfully, but that doesn't prevent people from responding unlawfully. There needs to be a level of precision in crafting messages for it to speak to people of all backgrounds. This also is where Tom stands out. Writing songs and deciding on what content.
Second
That's
point, and yes, it doesn't prevent people to responding to it unlawfully.
mm-hmm.
But that brings us back to our first topic of the night. That's why we need the Second Amendment. That's why it's second for a reason, is in case the first
That's
doesn't
one.
work.
Yep. Yep. And I think, yeah, people are gonna respond because a lot of people are so emotionally driven now, right? People get hurt. I did this YouTube video of um, Awaken with JP where he's talking about people that are offended over every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Today is like you can misgender someone and they get offended for that, as if you weren't using your free speech correctly. So to me, it's like
Mm-hmm.
there comes a point where we have to push back against some of this stuff because it's so emotionally driven.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that's like, you can't say this about this people, you can't say that about this people. Well, can I say anything about anybody?
Yeah.
It's coming to a point where
We can't even say anything.
at all. And that's bad because it's either speech is free and free speech come with offensive speech, however you want to refer to that, speech that you don't like, speech that are offensive to you. And the thing is, I don't understand how these people actually think. Like, look at the Christian community, for example. Look at how many jokes. I went online and check out Christian anti-Christian jokes.
Oh Lord.
I mean, I've listened to some of them, and I'm like, it is so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
They are so off script, so unbiblical, nothing but atheist approach of biblical understanding, and they don't even have a correct view on the Christian teaching. But guess what? I'm not gonna do.
And the
I'm not.
ones that aren't are vile.
I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not even gonna cancel you. I say, hey, yeah.
It's
I'll
like,
laugh and
hey,
say, yeah.
eh,
I'll laugh at how the stupidity of how incorrect they are talking about Christian stuff, and not just Christians, but how many vile stuff he said about religious folks, and how many times Hollywood make their Christian look stupid and drunkard and foolish. Like they don't get canceled.
mm-hmm.
If Hollywood was to do this to the alphabet community, if they were to do this to black people, I mean, they do it to white people all the time. They get away with it.
Yeah,
But if they do it
because
to, yeah, yeah, we're gonna fight the patriarchy, the white male, whatever it is they want to try to get rid of. But the thing is, it's just it's such a double standard, and it
it
goes
really
back
is.
to if you're gonna talk about free speech, you wanna do that, you wanna vilify people however you want. Fine, I'm gonna speak my view. I'm gonna tell you the truth about marriage between a man and a woman. That's free speech. I'm gonna call out the apostasies. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna lift up Jesus. That's all part of free speech as well. So don't step on my toes. Don't tread on me.
And I got in a debate with somebody the other day about, biblical teachings and stuff. And they're like, well, even Jesus, broke the rules of the Sabbath by flipping tables in the tabernacle. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He did that for a reason because they were turned the tabernacle into a place of
Marketplace.
commerce.
Yeah, a marketplace. Yeah.
And that was the offensive part.
Oh yeah.
You're looking at this backwards.
Yeah, that's they Jesus was getting rid of the things that did not belong
Exactly.
in the Sabbath. It's almost like he was cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean he was burning the house down. It's two different
You
things.
don't throw out the baby with the
With the
bathwater.
bathwater, yeah, it's just different. Yeah, and I think people do this about a lot of religious stuff as well. Is they just they go so extreme in understanding and they generalize stuff. And it's like just read the word and stop doing all this extra stuff you're doing. It's insignificant.
Yeah.
You know,
And without free speech, you can't have these conversations.
you can't. You can't. I mean, I don't. You don't have to agree with everything I say,
Yeah.
but I have the right to say it.
And it's
And
like I've always said, I was in the Army. I signed up to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
mhm,
And you know what? I live by that oath. Just because I'm not in the military anymore doesn't mean that oath still doesn't apply to me. I took that oath not once, but twice. Okay.
yeah,
So I am dead serious about keeping that oath until the day I am no longer on this earth.
yeah,
And
I like that.
I may not
Once a soldier, always a soldier.
exactly. So I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will lay down my life for the right for you to say it.
That's right. I'm gonna respect you. I like that. Hey, Megan, what's going on? It's good to
Good
have you
evening,
here.
Megan.
We miss you. I'm glad
So,
you made it in here.
but
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Let's continue. Hopefully, we can get through the rest of this. I would like for him to watch this video so he can go back and make some corrections. You know.
Content to employ is but one half of the process. One important thing that contributes to the success of a message going viral is its presentation, the way it's packaged. One thing that is gaining more momentum as Tom Songs expands its reach is the videos. It appears that every other video for his singles is looking more and more like movies. One would assume that there's a whole production team working with him at this point of his career. However, only one name is spoken by his supporters when people are curious about the production. That name is Nova Rockefeller. One thing is for sure, she is an artist in her own right, not just because she also makes music, but due to her incredible ability to present art in the form of a video production. Nova is very talented in portraying the right imagery needed for the content Tom is rapping about. Now, although many people label Tom as a political rapper, I highly
so in that part, it's a very small part, but that's like saying, okay, I've got cookies, but I have no milk. I think he very much underplays how much of a role Nova plays
Mhm.
in Tom's production.
Yeah.
And even the Hog fam understands that him and Nova are like the ultimate power couple team.
Mhm.
And they're like they love Nova just as much as they love Tom.
Beautiful.
Like you see it all the time in chat. Like Nova says something and the chat just explodes and just a wall of text just constantly flying by.
That's beautiful.
Like it's amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, like,
But at least he's acknowledging her as a key component to his success. You know.
but in a minor detail.
Yeah,
That's the issue I took
She
with
is.
it.
She is huge. She is like.
She plays
She's
a
like.
much
She's like.
bigger role.
Yeah, she's like the heart of everything that's happening with Tom's videos and everything.
And they play off of each other too.
Absolutely.
It's not like you can have Tom without Nova or Nova without Tom. They're
Megan said it best. They are a team.
exactly, Megan. I can't see what you're saying because I have to have full screen.
Gotcha.
So, but like you can't have one without the other. It just it
Mm,
doesn't work that way, you know.
it's good.
And that's the beauty of it. That's where the magic happens. And I think he very much underplays that with Nova.
Yep, good one. All right, let's keep going.
I doubt that this is the beginning and end of his music career. There's way too much talent surrounding this artist for him to fall flat. If Tom keeps advancing and providing the world messages that they are yearning after, his supporters will always be there. These are but a few reasons why Tom Macdonald became a treasure in our current culture. Until next time, Hat Nation, we are out.
Okay, all right, not bad.
And like I said, he just kind of adds her in as like a footnote at the end of the video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think she deserves much more than that,
Yes.
you know.
Uh, um, there was we were talking earlier. Remember, we were talking earlier. We were talking about how Tom McDaniel needs to start expanding his influence by teaching people some of the
Hmm.
skills, and I'm standing by that because I think you know what I'm saying, nothing is forever in this life, and the best thing you can do with a piece of knowledge is to share it. Tom McDaniel has a level of knowledge about music, production, sound. I mean, he needs to sit down with some people and really. I mean, he has to find people who are willing to be taught. That's the first thing. But I'm praying for that because I would like to see when Tom starts slowing down, he can say, "I'm sending these soldiers to go to work." You know, so it's one of those things that's part of the solution to some of the world pain and problems. Because Tom McDonald, for me, um, he's like part of the solution to me. It's like, but could you imagine if there were many more Toms? You know,
Hmm.
at least this type of content that he puts out, not exactly like him because we're all different, but at least addressing the issues for what they are and not sugarcoating it. You know,
And
I just love that.
and there is like you have people like NF now coming up. You have people
Yeah,
like Dax
true.
coming up.
Yes,
Struggle Jennings. You know, I don't know if you heard of Struggle Jennings.
absolutely.
Um, like Upchurch has been doing this for a very long time. You
Yeah.
know, he's been speaking out about stuff like this. You
Mm.
know, I mean, like there are others out there. It's just a matter of whether or not people take the time to go find them.
Yeah, the other thing is too is are they as consistent? I mean, Tom McDonald's work ethic is that's what stands out. It's not just doing good music. We can have one good album, you know, we can have two, three good, but can you keep up? Because what I see him doing is that he keeps up with the culture. He
Hmm.
galvanized that and he utilized that. Like we listen to Riot and Sheephold and New World Order. Like Tom is taking the pain, the situation, the troubles of our culture, and then use it for his glory. and, and and people just like we just fall over backward because it only makes sense because he ministers to you
Yeah,
about a lot of the stuff you were thinking you didn't know how to put it in words. And here goes this guy and he's saying it. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like it's powerful.
yeah,
So yeah,
and like Megan says, yeah, Nova brings life to the lyrics in the videos. Like
yeah,
it really is
mm,
perfect. It's a perfect combination.
it is. They're a beautiful couple. I would definitely love to see them. I mean, wasn't there a wedding that was supposed to take place or something, or
Oh,
there was a promise to a wedding or something? I just didn't.
I I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I heard there was like, if we do this many times, if we sell this many album or something, I'm gonna marry Nova. I've heard that before. I was doing the brave, but nevertheless, it is what it is.
All I know is on the 18th when the albums dropped, I was there at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to get my autographed copies of the new records.
That's right. So that's all I know. That's all I need to know. All right, guys, I gotta share this with you quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next video. You can get the next video ready. Here's the thing. This is coming from Proverbs chapter 17, verse 8. There it is. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that have it, and whithersoever he turneth, it prospereth. Oh man, you can preach all day on this. I can preach all day. Here's the thing. You see, Tom McDonald's like career. Uh, he's gifted like that, and part of that gift has been not only nature but nurture. He's been nurtured in him. But the thing is, the gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that have it. I love this because it also shows you can have a gift and not realize that it is precious enough to use it for your own success. Sometimes some of us are created in ways that we can do things to heal the world's pain, to solve issues that are oftentimes we look at and say, wow, who's going to bring the solution? You have no idea what God has put in you. And from the moment you were born, and there are times you have to nurture the gift. Sometimes you might need to go to school, you might need to learn a trade or something, right? And once you get it, you can turn that gift like a precious stone. You become so valuable. When you think of a precious stone, it's almost like people will fight and die to get that stone. In essence, the gift that is in you must be looked upon as something so valuable that people want to kill for it, right? They will knock down your door because they know you have this solution to this thing. This is why Tom is so successful. He has managed the gift of music in such a powerful way and utilize that in ways to minister to the hearts of those who are listening and utilizing the culture. It takes a lot into consideration. There's a lot of thought processes, but also I think the pain and the experiences that he's had, um, all of that plays a significant role uh, in Tom's success. So I want to encourage you to make the best use of the gift that God has given you. Find out what they are, and also put them to use. And here's the thing: once you find out what the gift is, Proverb is so deep. We're gonna spend hours in here, hours in there, in the eyes of Him that have it. Like you, what do you see? Like, can you see what you've been gifted to do, or you think your life is here by chance? Are you living below the standard for which you were created to live? I mean, there's so much we can go into there. But whithersoever he go, if he prospers. In other words, the man who is gifted, you can throw him in Hollywood, he will prosper. You throw him in the wilderness, you put him in a cave, he will make something out of himself. You know, the person who don't want to do right, no matter where you put them, they're gonna just drag. But there are some folks that you could throw them wherever, they will start something. They create a business. They will, it's just it's a mindset that they have to succeed. And I want to encourage you, find out what that gift is in you. Pray to God, ask Him to reveal that to you, and value that gift, and then watch what happens and nurture that gift. Sometimes you might need to go to school and add on to this thing, and then use it and see what happens. That's my challenge to you today, I guess.
Amen.
Praise God. She's a winner. She said, "You will jump."
She
You
is.
will jump. Yeah, she is. They're beautiful, though. Listen to. Yeah, she is a winner. Nova is the one that comes up with Angel's perfect shots that we draw the audience in even more with lyrics. She is the huge part of the thought process behind the imagery in the videos. I can see that. Even that trailer that we checked out together. Oh,
Not just a huge part. I think she's pretty much the thought process behind the videos, because from what I've seen in like the short behind the scenes videos and stuff,
mm-hmm.
Tom just kind of shows up to do his thing. Nova is the one directing the videos, shooting the videos, pretty much telling Tom what to do.
That's right. It's powerful. So
Tom may make a few minor decisions on like wardrobe and
are you calling
stuff.
Tom a puppet? Just
No, no, no. I'm not saying he's a puppet. I'm just
but I
saying.
can see in his lyrics some of the things that are in his videos the parallel very well.
Yeah.
So I think I think Nova balance of, just like you said earlier, they feed off each other. So when Tom put his lyrics together, she's thinking of how to bring these lyrics to life, and that's what it means to have that partner, man. That somebody said your wife doesn't complete you, she compliments you. It's different.
Exactly.
She's not
And
supposed to complete you.
and
God completes us, not
a
people.
lot of times it's really cute because a lot of times behind the scenes you'll see everybody like, "Come on, dance, dance, do the funny dance. All right, come on now, do the funny dance." He's just like they're like, "Oh, come on, not again."
Oh, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. All right, what else you got for us right now? So,
All right, we're gonna go to JP.
ooh, are you guys ready for another Awaken with JP? Oh man, JP is something else. I can't get enough of this guy. He is becoming one of my favorite comedy type of reaction video YouTuber. It's like,
Comedy slash commentator.
yeah, I, I can watch JP. I would rather watch JP than a lot of news network. Honestly, I don't need
Yeah,
to say. The bee haws.
the Alphabet News Network.
Yeah. Those guys, yeah. They're insane. Nothing. I try to listen to some of them in opposition to see how they think. The political stuff is so bad, it runs through the vein and even the gene of the discussion. And I'm like, why don't you just tell the story? Why do
Without
you
the
have to?
slant.
Yeah. Why do you have to insert your thought? You have to lean and jab and put a little bit of sprinkle a little bit of your nonsense in it. I'm like, stop doing that because I don't really care. Give me that Project Veritas kind of stuff, I'm
Right,
just
right.
just drop it for me because I can make sense of the thing. Just just lay it in front of me and I'll put the ingredients together. For us, it's like they think they have to cook for you. Just be
No,
like
let
a
us make up
supermarket.
our own minds.
Yeah, be like a supermarket. Let us go and we'll pick the things we want to eat and prepare our own plate. Because oftentimes they're like, we can't allow this to be said. We can't say this and we can't say that. But you're saying all this stuff that you're not supposed to be saying. All
So
this fear mongering. Oh
the
Lord,
way
don't get
the
me
way I
started.
look at it is, whereas schools are indoctrination camps for kids, the
Hmm.
news is indoctrination camps for adults.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said if you watch the news, if you don't watch the news, you are uninformed. But once you
And
watch
if you
the
watch the
news,
news, you're ill informed.
you are misinformed. You are ill informed. Yeah. I'm like, well, what are we supposed to do? You safer staying with the local news.
You
You
find
know,
alternative news.
yeah, you find alternative. There's Epoch now that I'm looking into. There are a number of other news network. Daily Wire is also decent as well.
I like
Um,
Louder with Crowder.
Louder Crowder is good. You get a little bit of laughter and a lot of truth bombs. Man, I can listen to these guys all day. Um, there's so much out there, and I think the alternative media network has become so powerful. Have you noticed what's happening with this Black Panther movie? And they're like, "Yo, we're losing money. Black Panther is not making as much money." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Listen to the alternative media network," and I'm part of that because I did some reaction videos to their stuff. And what they don't realize, those YouTubers, those reaction videos, like this guy point out, which I love, he said this, those reaction videos that are talking about this and sharing their thought about that,
Are either
these
going to
are
make it or break it.
yeah, these are the guys that are really turning the wheel. And I wish people would pay attention. We're like, CNN, 1 million subscribers. Like, no, those YouTubers that are maybe 100,000 subscribers, you're not paying attention to these guys. These are the ones whose voice is really talking to the average person. You're talking to the other big guys with the big channels and so on. The average bottom feeder are listening to these guys and they're looking at things and saying, I'm not going to watch that movie. It's like
Like for me, if I want
it's
to watch
crazy.
like if I'm thinking about going to a theater and watching a movie, I know a lot of people put a lot of stock in Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, it's
I'll go
ridiculous.
to I'll go to Rotten Tomatoes and I'll check it out. But I don't look at the critic score.
Yeah, yeah. The
I
critics are.
look at the audience score. I want
Mm,
to see what the average everyday person thinks
yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know all the critics are bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
they're
why it's
going to give
rotten.
it good reviews.
It's rotten.
So, yeah, you
Perfect
know.
name.
All
All
right.
right.
So,
Let's see what else you got for
JP,
us today. Yes, JP. Let's do it. Awaken with JP. Yeah.
here we go.
What's the title of this one?
This is When You Hear Trump is Running in 2024.
All right, let's do it.
Hey! Did you hear Trump officially announced he's running for president in 2024? Never heard of him. You've never heard of Trump? Oh, I thought you said Mike Pence. Who's that? I don't know. I've never heard of him. So you did hear Trump is running in 2024? No, but I saw it. Do you think he'll win a third term? I don't know, it'll be tough. He's got a pretty uphill battle from all angles. What do you mean? Well, so many people trying to sabotage him from the other side, his own party, the media, the deep state. And he'll have a really tough opponent that I don't know if he can beat. Tough opponent he might not be able to beat. Biden? No. Kamala? No. Gavin Newsom? Nope. Well, who's the tough opponent that you don't know if he'll be able to beat? The election system. Ah, yes, a real Goliath. You know how we're not.
I'm sorry.
All right, we
I
may
don't know, man.
not. We may not.
I don't like to start laughing on live streams like this.
It's okay. It's all right. We can laugh. Laughing is fine.
So,
We just may not want to comment on it. That's all I'm saying.
the truth feels so good that all I can do is laugh. But look at this thing. Like, look at how this ship is turning around. I'm just sitting there watching. It's like Titanic 2.0. And I'm like, you've done all this to the guy.
Oh, yeah.
You've done messed him up and called him all type of names, and it's like he's coming back around like a dragon. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can only imagine like what it's like to be those anti-Trumpers. Like, oh, we gotta get rid of him ASAP because he says he's running, and he's like, and I heard all these guys that are going in the election saying we're running. And I'm like, you running so you can stop him?
Yeah, good luck with that.
You got the wrong motive at heart. You gonna win? Like, have you seen his Twitter account? I'm like, I'm gonna vote, right? And I'm sitting there looking at these people like, yo. And I've learned this a long time ago. Don't you ever crucify your man because you disagree with him, even if the man is religious, non-religious, no matter how crazy. If you crucify him, this is what you end up doing. You
Turn him
create
into
a
a martyr.
warrior. Yeah, you turn into a martyr. You create a warrior out of him. It's the same thing we did with Jesus. It's like the more you spoke about, the more the Jews went after Jesus and like called him all these nasty names, and they nailed him on a cross. And we have no king but Caesar. And then 3 days later, Jesus resurrected. It's like, oh my goodness, we out because the truth is, don't you realize the more you went after him is the more you make him stronger and even more powerful. The more attention he gets, the more his fan base grows. You went after his home, you attacked him, you go after his character. And while you're doing all of this, during the election season, and let's talk about the Clinton and so on. Let's leave that alone.
Right.
But all of that, and here are the independent, like people like myself, who is just sitting back and say, so this man is bad, he's guilty. What has he done so wrong? And we're looking at all that and we're like, wow, you went after his house? Whoa, you call him all his nasty name, get out of here. And next thing I'm like, I love him more. I love him more. Thank you, because you teaching me to love him. Because the more you go after and persecute him, is the more I sympathize with him. Because I'm asking the big question: why do you hate him so much? So
Mhm.
therefore, your narrative must be false. Because if he was all that you said he was, how come you haven't caught him and locked him up and put him behind bars this far? So this tells me all this witch hunt nonsense you've been doing. What you don't realize, you're actually making Trump bigger than he has ever been. And I'm
Mhm.
like, it's best you just like you said before, just pay him no mind and let him fade away. You went after his account, you shut down his Twitter account. I mean, I'm sitting here like, yep, you done. You done.
I
Like
mean,
there,
yeah.
I'm telling you, only God can stop Trump from winning the election in 2024. Only
Eh,
God can stop it because
eh,
his fan base is so strong now. He's getting blacks, Hispanic, independent.
mhm.
People are more sympathizing with Trump now than ever before.
And it's like the saying goes, you may strike me down, but I will become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
And the thing is, Trump has gotten better. His language is polished. He's more. He doesn't even need a teleprompter. The man is making more sense.
He's
He's
never
more deep.
needed it. Honestly, he's never needed a
He's
teleprompter.
never
He's
needed one.
never,
Yeah, he never actually had to
yeah.
use one. But I'm listening to him now. I'm like, yo, now he had the business attitude before. Now he has the business plus the
Hmm.
diplomatic, the understanding, a little bit of wisdom. He knows how far to push, how much to put on how much to push the gas, slow down, tap your brake. He's doing it. I'm listening to his speech. I'm like, this brother here, he,
Yeah. Now he knows. Now he knows how to play the game.
he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And I'm like, oh, I hope they're ready. I hope they're all ready. Look what they've done.
I guarantee you, they're not.
They better get they better get ready because they did this. They did this.
They are not ready for the
Ooh,
retribution that's coming their
Lord
way.
have mercy. I had to laugh and pause and laugh because I couldn't help he said this. I mean, all right, let's continue. Sorry.
You know that you're perfectly fine.
Not allowed to talk about what happened with that from the last election? Well, I think the fact that we're not allowed to talk about that is evidence that no evidence exists. I mean, trying to hide something through censorship typically means there's nothing to hide from what we're told. That's where we're at, isn't it? The fear that controls me compels me to agree with that. But what human do you think will run against President Trump for president in the futuristic sounding year of 2024? Well, I think it'll be a complex scenario where at first they'll pretend Hunter's dad is gonna run. But once his approval ratings fall below 1%, they'll pretend they're just now finding out about his ability to have no cognitive abilities. But they'll never admit it. They'll just make up a story that he wants to retire and relax so he can do what he's already doing, except he
True.
won't be called president.
You
He
know
is so on point. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
exactly.
This is this
Exactly.
this this is prophetic because you remember uh you know the sons, what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
before we were not allowed to Russian disinformation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But later on, at the appropriate time, it
Oh, look,
was allowed
it's
to be
accurate. It's
spoken about.
true.
But today we're saying something is wrong mentally based on the evidence. Something is not adding up. This man is not speaking the way he's supposed to. He's not making sense. He's falling asleep. He's tired. And I've been in
He's
nursing
turning the
homes,
wrong direction and trying to shake hands with the air.
shaking hands. And we've been saying that. We're like, well, please, nothing's wrong. All is well. And then later on, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, something is wrong." It's like, oh, duh, you are late for the party. we've had the party
We've
over
been
here.
telling you this for the last 4 years.
What? Now you catching up to this? Like, duh.
Please.
Give us a break. These people,
People, please.
people, please. Go ahead.
And then Kamala. You think they'll have her run? No. They'll manufacture a story about why she's not running. Probably something like, well, she's terrible and nobody likes her, which will hide the reality that she's really terrible and everyone hates her. Do you think they'll be able to pull off a lie that big? Yeah. And then what? In comes Gavin Newsom with his strong track record of increasing the homeless population, decreasing the housed population, and him putting more small businesses out of business than anyone else in America. They'll position him to run against Trump, as he's clearly the most qualified for the job. I can't wait to be homeless. But before that, what about Trump versus DeSantis? Good point. Polls that have polled people who take part in polls are polling favorably for DeSantis, who I love. But what? The fact that the establishment, including rhino reptilian hybrids like Mitch McConnell, will do everything in their power to stop Trump from getting back into office by automatically backing DeSantis makes me suspicious. Why do you think Trump insulted DeSantis recently? Probably because he wanted to. That makes sense. While DeSantis is implied
So, little
How about that?
little story on that. Trump found out some information.
That even his wife doesn't know about.
No, not just that.
To top it off?
To top that off,
No, stop.
DeSantis has been meeting with a Republican super PAC behind his back about a possible 2024 presidential bid for the establishment.
So, which means there is going to be exactly what JP is saying. There's going to be a division within the party.
Possibly.
I can see even the Democrats sponsoring and supporting DeSantis. Anything to get rid of Trump, the goal. Yeah, we're going to have a rumble real soon because I want to be able to speak my mind fully.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the video.
Just
saying.
Just saying.
he won't run against Trump in the Republican primary, he's also implied that he might imply something different as time goes on. What if he does run against Trump? Well, that would be good news because then it would further divide the GOP, which is already struggling with division. How would that be good? Well, it would be really good for the left, which already has 95% of the media on their side, the White House, the Senate, censorship, and big tech. But on the bright side, it would be really bad for the GOP. So you're saying division and infighting within David wouldn't help them defeat Goliath? Weirdly, I don't think it would. But the diversity gets even tougher for Trump. How so? Well, many Republican mega donors who have backed Trump in previous elections have just come out and said that they won't back Trump in this run with their donations. Well, if they won't donate, are they really mega donors? Good point.
And if they're not backing Trump, who do you think they're backing?
Oh boy.
You see? Now is what I said earlier makes sense?
That is crazy, yo. I'm telling you, the word, I want to zone on that word, K-fade. Kayfade. This is, look it up, look up the word K-fade. You get the understanding of what's going on here. This is dirty business.
It's very...
I tell you, boy. Whew, I love it, though. I love it because the drama is exciting.
Right?
It still is.
It's like,
oh my goodness.
It's like, man, we're in for one wild ride.
Yeah, I can't wait. Lord, please keep me alive till 2024 because things can happen any moment now. But Lord, please, because I got to live to see with my eyes. Oh, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sit there and watch and watch and watch.
Oh, they're gonna be fireworks. Believe. You better believe.
This is gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. Oh Lord.
Okay.
I can't believe.
Just wanted to point that little section out there that says his major donors that helped him in the first one are no longer helping him in the second one.
Trusting the wrong kind of people. But the thing is, Mr. Trump has figured that out. What they failed to realize is coming from another angle now, very different than he did at first. He's learned from his mistakes. So I'm really anxious to figure out how this is going to be played out. Um, hmm. Mitch
and
McConnell.
and the fact that they don't need him. Trump doesn't need them.
The fan base. Talking
Hmm.
about Hangover Gang. They
Hmm.
don't realize that his supporters, they are growing.
Hmm.
This is where they make a huge mistake.
Yeah, and like I understand a lot of people like DeSantis, but it's I think putting DeSantis against Trump is going to be a huge mistake if the Republican Party does that.
No, I like DeSantis as a governor, but I don't see DeSantis as a president. At least maybe not yet.
Which
And I
makes
have a lot. I have a
well,
lot of
my
questions now.
yeah, exactly. That's and it's like, well, why is it all of a sudden the establishment wants to back DeSantis?
Yeah, that is weird. Apart from the fact, very similar to the previous election with Mr. You know Hunter's father,
Hmm.
who was somebody would say not elected but selected.
Yeah,
Nevertheless,
with Mr. Brandon.
hmm so Mr. Brandon has gotten elected simply because Trump was not supposed to be elected. So I'm wondering, is this going to be another tactic? There's no new thing under the sun, right?
Hmm.
Just saying.
Anyway, before
Yeah,
we get too far down that rabbit hole,
yeah. We saved that. We saved that discussion for Rumble.
all right.
Point. But aside from the obstacles presented to Trump by infighting within his own party, he's also got the obstacles thrown at him from his political opposition. Like what? The Russia collusion hoax. I thought Hillary was being honest about that. The January 6th committee. Oh, that's not legit? The FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago. I thought it was normal in democracies for the federal government to weaponize their agencies against their political opposition. And then you have TDS. TDS? Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. It's like mass formation psychosis, except it's the same and specifically about Trump. I hear that's a very rampant condition spread by TVs. Yeah, so far there's no cure. It renders parts of the brain almost completely useless. Yeah, I heard Pfizer's working on a cure to give it to people that don't have it. It'll be nice to have that cure forced on us too. Speaking of which, if there was one weak point about Trump, his effective energy independence track record? No. Him creating the securest border in recent history? No. The economy booming when it was under his watch? No. But admittedly, he wasn't very good at causing inflation. Well, what is it? Him seemingly being out of touch with his base as he still touts Operation Warp Speed and all that it stood for. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What do you...
Yo, you notice the people who are in opposition to Trump have not been able to, in any way, tell the people anything that is really negative in his presidency or his works and the things he did while in office.
Or even anything he said. Like the people say, "Oh well, he's racist," and like, okay, give
Prove
me
it.
one example.
Prove it.
Yeah, give me one example of anything he's said or done that's racist.
We
And
all
and
wait
I'm waiting. I'm still waiting to hear anything.
patiently.
Like,
Yeah, it's true. I'm thinking about that now. I'm like, they never proved anything.
I mean, for
Uh,
crying out loud, there's pictures of him getting awards for Humanitarian of the Year from Jesse Jackson and Al
mhm,
Sharpton.
mhm, mhm. But you know what they said when it comes to J6 concerning how he was fanning the flame uh, regarding storming the Capitol and so on,
Which is
an
completely
attack on
just the
democracy.
opposite.
Yeah, but I went on his Twitter page,
Hmm.
which was open, and the last tweet that he had on the exact date at 3:31
Hmm.
were saying, "Let's be peaceful."
Make your
less
voices heard in a
respect.
peaceful manner and respect our
Yeah,
police officers in blue.
that's interesting because during the whole January 6th committee, I don't ever remember hearing that being
Well,
read at
that would be
all.
detrimental to their case.
I get it now.
See, that's why those can't be
There's
brought
a
up.
good there's a good word in the Bible for that. We call it hypocrisy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's get back to JP. Mercy.
I think that was about? Well, I think it comes down to the guy's not perfect. That seems like a realistic perspective that would be in my worst interest not to consider. Yeah, it's kind of like if you had a baby and you were giving it a bath, and every once in a while it shits in the bathwater. You wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Exactly. You'd use your bare hand and grab the poop out of the bathwater and put it in your wife's slipper and continue bathing the baby in the same bathwater because you're already pressed for time and it's just quicker this way, like a good parent is supposed to. I think you lost me on that analogy. It wasn't an analogy, it was a metaphor. Well, that explains nothing. You're welcome. And the point is, have you ever considered that with Operation Warp Speed, as disagreeable as the move was to his entire base, that the move could have been Trump playing 5D chess against the global elites who are very hysterically threatened by him, because he's uncontrollable relative to their agenda of imposing draconian communism onto the entirety of humanity, facilitated through their fear-mongering about disease and climate while intimidating about equity in order to foster compliance with their policies that rob individuals of their...
Oh, you got to let him finish the rant.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to back it up a little bit, but JP is on fire right now. Do you hear what he's saying? We can talk all day on that, but there's so much he just said here in this piece, but I'm just gonna let it run. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he gets on a roll here.
Yeah, this is like is actually giving you the conclusion in a sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, boy, no, he didn't just say that.
Oh yeah, he went there.
Threatened by him, because he's uncontrollable relative to their agenda of imposing draconian communism onto the entirety of humanity, facilitated through their fear-mongering about disease and climate while intimidating about equity in order to foster compliance with their policies that rob individuals of their sovereignty and power while handing it over to the globalists. Yes, I have considered that. Me too. Just a thought. What were we talking about?
Wait.
Trump announced
JP's been wanting to say this for such a long time.
Right?
This is one of those things that's been in his heart. He's like,
can I say this fast enough so that the algorithm doesn't pick up on it?
Have you ever seen those commercials? Those you know, those different pharmaceutical commercials where they're talking about the medicine.
Yep. And then they get to the side effects, and then it's like
the most important part that I need to hear carefully, slowly.
Yep.
I'm like, no, wait, slow down, because this is a matter of life and death right here.
Well, wait a minute. What? I heard something in there that did not sound good. What was it? What was it? Back up.
Did you say heart attack? Did you say blood clot? You know?
Did you say possible side effect may cause death? What? No.
You just painted a good 2 minutes, a good minute and 56 seconds talking about how great this thing is. And the last 4 seconds that I need to hear the substance that I need to be aware of to make sure that I'm not dead tomorrow. You run through that so quickly. Like, let's not do that to me. But I know. But JP, oh boy. I'm telling you, he's been thinking about this. I can see in all his videos, he's been wanting to say this, and this was his opportunity. He is getting his voice. JP is turning up the volume somewhat, but he's doing it in a way that is very well thought out. I appreciate that. Yeah. Can you run that back one more time? I just want to digest on that. I won't comment this time, but I just want to digest on that a little bit more. That was powerful.
I think you lost me on that analogy. It wasn't an analogy, it was a metaphor. Well, that explains nothing. You're welcome. And the point is, have you ever considered that with Operation Warp Speed, as disagreeable as the move was to his entire base, that the move could have been Trump playing 5D chess against the global elites who are very hysterically threatened by him, because he's uncontrollable relative to their agenda of imposing draconian communism onto the entirety of humanity, facilitated through their fear-mongering about disease and climate while intimidating about equity in order to foster compliance with their policies that rob individuals of their sovereignty and power while handing it over to the globalists. Yes, I have considered that. Me.
My Lord.
And he's so on point because all that stuff went away when Trump was in president. I'm just saying.
I got a strike that's coming out of my YouTube channel in maybe 5 days, and then I'll share my opinion on that one. Because
no,
I got a fan
we'll save it.
base.
We'll save it for Rumble.
We'll save it for Rumble because
please, anybody watching, just remember we will be doing a live stream on Rumble where we can actually speak freely.
We shall save those thoughts for another discussion because I got too much love and respect for the people on my channel, and we're building a good relationship right now. I can't afford to lose you. Okay,
and,
I can't.
So make notes.
It's not worth losing you. Okay,
right?
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. Let's go on.
Too. Just a thought. What were we talking about? Trump announcing that he's running for president in 2024. Oh yeah, exciting times. I'm sure people in Arizona can't wait to vote, I bet. Well, I gotta go. I want to check in and see how the media is honestly reporting on Trump's candidacy in a completely unbiased way that's aligned with the principles of true journalists, because that's what they are. I'm sure that's exactly what you'll find. Oh, quick question. At the rate that the Build Back Better plan is destroying everything in its path in a way that makes it better, do you think time will still exist in 2024? Probably not. Well then, how will we know when it's time to vote? Start counting the days.
Oh my Lord, what are we gonna do with JP, yo? Oh, where did this guy come from? There's a lot of thinking going on. It's almost like all the news headline that I've read is in the past 2 weeks are compact in this. It's like, yeah, I just read that. Yeah, I did a video. Oh yeah, duh. Like boy.
wait, what? No, I slow down. I gotta
please stop. Can I digest a little bit?
Rewind. I gotta hear that again.
Oh,
okay,
this
I didn't
is
catch
so
that
great.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be able to keep up with JP. He is just, oh boy, I tell you. I feel sorry for those anti-Trumpers.
Yeah, Megan, we've seen coming. You've put a couple in the reaction requests that we're definitely saving for Rumble.
yeah. If we don't get to it, part of the reason could be because we like, these guys, these gatekeepers here. We gotta be careful with them. They are hungry dogs. Let's just put it that way. But I tell you what, the truth. I tell you what, they can't. I'm so glad because you can't stop the truth. And that's the beautiful thing about all of this is that I'm just gonna share a quotation. His name is John Wycliffe. Let me see if I can find him quick. I mean, you can give your summary on JP in the meantime, but
like he's whenever he makes a video, he's always on point. He's always got his facts straight, and he knows what he's talking about. Like not just his comedy skits, but even his reactions. And I can appreciate that, like really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I like about him the most is not only is he funny, but he's funny with the side of sarcasm and tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Is that he has mastered the art of comedy while doing it in a really constructive, believable, interactive, but very informative way. Like I really appreciate the way JP has mastered to do that. I really love that. Oh, that is beautiful.
Hmm.
Oh, there, there. Yeah, his name is John Wycliffe. He lived in a early somewhere in the 17th century. No, early 10th, around there, 1300s.
Hmm.
So he lived. He was actually a Roman Catholic, and but he left Catholicism after reading the Bible. He was a schoolmaster, and he actually waged war against Catholicism and the abuses of their power and so on. I say that to say this because he made a statement that I always remember that he said in all of his writings, and he wasn't killed, but they were trying to kill him,
Mm.
but he had a disease. He started shaking completely. Literally, he died before they had a chance to kill him, but because of his view.
Sounds
Good.
like it
He's
might be Parkinson's.
yeah. It was Parkinson. He started Um, he had the spasm and so on. But it's good to study him
Very,
because
very similar to what I have.
yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But this is what he said. I just wanted to say this. This is what he said. By the way, this was said. This was during a time when both the popes and the kings were messing. You know, they were in bed together. And John Wycliffe says, "I believe in the end, the truth will conquer." And these were like the words that he left behind, knowing that you can do whatever you want to do, say whatever you want to say, try to shut down people who disagree with you, say this and say that about people, malign their character. In the end, the truth will conquer.
It always does.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who supports what, transgender this, abortion that, politicals this, anti-Trump that. For at the end, the truth will conquer. And if you don't know who the truth is, go to John chapter 14, verse 6. Christ
I
is.
am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
That's it. Let's move on. We got one more. Time is up.
Well, we got three, unless you want to just skip to the last one.
Yeah, we can skip the last one. I think I have 20 minutes here. Yeah, 20 minutes. I gotta get my mom.
All
So
right.
what else? What else we had again? What are the other?
You got the two about the electric cars and the Californian.
Oh yeah, we can do both. Let's let the electric cars run completely and talk about that at the end.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about the electric cars business? Is that something you want to buy into? For those of you who are watching right now, mm, are you for that? So this is part one. Next time we come, we can do a part two. I plan on doing a part two. Uh, it's a very interesting what these guys are talking about. Things we've already talked about in the channel anyway. So yeah, there's a big push for electric cars, and yeah, but there are some very serious concerns that need to be addressed.
I
And
think it's highly inefficient and it's going to put a strain on our power grid. Then, especially if they want to go to the whole green energy idea,
mhm, yeah,
because the green energy things that they want to do are underpowered as it is and don't produce enough electricity for the average person to be able to function on a regular basis.
yeah, I think C- California should be an example of what happens when you try to abuse that
Like,
power.
yeah, like I remember there was a radio news station that was premiering this new electric car where you can just plug it in and you're good to go, you know? And
Hmm.
then the news anchor asks, well, where does the electricity come from? They're like, well, that building right there. And they're like, okay, so how does the building get power? And she's like, well, it just gets power. The power comes from the building and goes to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, she gave the name of the electric company. And so he went to the head of the electric company and he's like, so, okay, the car gets power from the building. Where does the building get power from? And he's like, well, they get power from us. And it's like, okay, so how do you produce your power? From coal.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
It's like
demolition derby.
It's like at the end of the day, you're not really helping anything.
Nope, no, you are not. But we must believe that you are. You know how that story goes, right?
And not to mention the fact, like I said, the batteries, the cobalt in the batteries, you can't just dispose of that. That's like super toxic.
And I think that's what they're going to talk about today. So,
all right, let's
take a listen to that, because he addresses, that's part one. Part two goes even deeper, but we can save that for another live stream.
Okay.
All right, let me turn it on.
Oh my God!
Electric car sales are up 66%.
Anybody want to jump in the back?
And now my president says the future.
It's electric, and there's no turning back.
To make sure of that, some states are banning gas-powered cars.
Gasoline cars are driving us toward climate chaos. We actually have to stop using fossil fuel vehicles.
California's governor made that an executive order.
We will eliminate the sales of internal combustion engines.
Governments everywhere say they plan to do that.
The government has a vision for a future where all our cars will be electric.
But this is just magical thinking. It can't happen. In this video and the next, we point out 5 inconvenient facts about electric cars that politicians and green activists
take your oil, go to hell!
Just don't understand.
Electric cars are amazing.
Physicists like Mark Mills of the Manhattan Institute do understand. He says the trend to electric is a good thing.
But it won't change the future in any significant way with respect to oil use or carbon dioxide emissions.
That's inconvenient fact 1. More electric cars will hardly dent oil use. If all of us bought electric cars, would it make any difference?
So the world has 15, 18 million electric vehicles now. It could go to 300 million, maybe 500 million vehicles. I don't think it'll get that many, but that's the aspiration. That would reduce world oil consumption by about 10%. That's not nothing, but it doesn't end the use of oil for the world.
Because most of it's used for what?
Flying airplanes, driving buses, big trucks. The mining equipment that get the copper to build the electric cars is all oil-fired, and it won't change because those trucks last 40 years.
And even if all vehicles somehow switch to electricity, there'd be another problem, because despite what we've heard,
further, faster, cheaper, and greener.
Electric cars are not all that green. One reason is because electricity isn't all that green. I'm amazed talking to people who are all excited about their electric car, and they say, and I'm not polluting. And I say, where do you get the electricity from? And they don't know. They don't know that most of America's electricity comes from fossil fuels, natural gas and coal. Just 12% comes from wind and solar. Yet auto companies tell us
electric vehicles in general are better and more sustainable for the environment.
She's a Ford engineer. She's not ignorant.
Well, actually, she probably is ignorant in the literal sense of the word. She's not stupid, but ignorance speaks to what you know. You have to mine somewhere on Earth 500,000 pounds of minerals and rock to make one battery.
And most of this mining isn't done in the U.S. American regulations make it nearly impossible. So it's done other places, polluting those countries. And worse, ingredients in batteries are mined in places that enslave people and use child labor.
An army of children are at the heart of the mining production, wearing no shoes and in the most wretched conditions.
Most Americans proudly driving electric cars don't know about this. They just don't want mining done near them. But wherever it's done, mining is a dirty business that adds lots of carbon to the air.
If you're worried about carbon dioxide, the electric vehicle is emitted 10 to 20 tons of carbon dioxide before it even gets to your driveway, before you drive the first mile and plug it in the first time.
Carbon dioxide produced by the mining and the manufacturing and the shipping.
Exactly. Volkswagen published an honest study. They point out that the first 60,000 miles or so you're driving an electric vehicle, that electric vehicle will have emitted more carbon dioxide than if you just drove a conventional vehicle in the first place.
You have to own it for a while before the electric part starts to win.
You have to own it for at least 100,000 miles, and then the electric part wins by some. So it doesn't get you a zero emissions vehicle. It's reduced the emissions then by 20 or 30%, which is not nothing, but it's not zero.
No, it's not close to zero. In our next video, more inconvenient facts about electric cars. Politicians make impossible assumptions about batteries and the electric grid. Hope you like this video.
Wow. That one regarding the mining and how this is produced, that was it for me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize where this stuff comes from and how much it takes.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass.
I mean, you got to stop and think that not only that, but oil is responsible for a lot of things we use on a daily basis. The glasses that you're wearing, that headset that you're wearing, the epaulets on your hoodie, the chair you're sitting in, all of that stuff comes from oil.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've studied that before.
I mean, they don't realize no oil, no plastic.
I don't think they're saying no oil. I just that they have an issue with you driving and putting it in your car. But that's one of the
no. These people want no oil being drilled. Period.
You can even survive without it. They can't even make electric cars without oil. They don't know what they're talking about. I think they are
ignorant.
Again, this is the fear. Yeah, ignorant, but this is the fear. When you use the fear, the same fear that was imposed on us for the past 2 years.
Oh no, it's been more than 2 years. This has been going on since like the 1930s.
I know, but I'm talking about the same method of fear mongering for the past 2 years that was used to get us to, to inject ourselves with these things. It's the same method, fear sells. If you can't get them to think rationally, just scare them to death, they will surrender. And I think they're using the climate as a mean to control and to manipulate people. They themselves don't really believe that. They live near beaches and they fly in their jets. And it's like, yeah, but you want to save the planet.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard is actually below sea level.
Yeah.
And how many people live there? How many rich people live there?
That tells you how much they care about.
Let's see, I believe there's a former president that lives there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do that one last one with.
All right.
California's moved to Texas. This is part number 5, by the way, guys. We got a whole series of Babylon Bee on the channel here, so I'm gonna give them their own playlist. I think I have like 8 videos already up there. So get ready for some laughter. We're gonna end it with some laughter here, and I give you a word and we out. Let's do this. You need to your audio. Oh, there we go. Test. No, you don't have.
Is it muted?
It sounds like no. It's not muted on my end. It sounds like it's muted on your end. It is. It's muted.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Let's do it. Wow. Megan said China has control out of the power grid. Play right into their hands. Yeah, Megan, definitely. I'm gonna yeah, when we go on Rumble, we're gonna have those discussions that
We're gonna have the hard talks.
yeah, we're gonna have the hard talks. I just gotta figure out how to set it up. It's not hard. I know you need to get a subscription of some sort, so we're gonna do that. I'll schedule it ahead of time, talk to you on Discord and everything, and then we'll set it up.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
Oh goodness. Master of Gender Studies. Here we go.
Well, no, is the audio? You say the audio is on? Hello.
You guys been doing since our last
We good.
Okay.
session? Steve, have you been working on controlling these unhealthy desires for Texas culture?
Well, I reckon I've been trying my best here.
And Tiffany, how does it make you feel to hear Steve say that he's been trying as he sits there wearing a big new cowboy hat? It makes me feel unappreciated and betrayed.
But baby, it looks so good on me.
Does it? Thank you, babe. Anything you can do to fight your Texification.
I just feel so guilty for having these cravings. Especially when Tiffany is so perfect. No vices. Texas isn't changing her. She's still the same radical, leftist California I fell in love with.
I love guns!
I knew it!
I haven't been volunteering at the Transgender Cat Center every night. It's been the gun range.
I didn't know that.
Well, it seems like you guys still have a lot of work to do.
I really do. I'm great at close range, but I'm having some trouble with the iron sight since the ACOG is just so incredible for the 400-meter target. Oh, you meant for our marriage. Yeah, that too.
I think you're going to have to decide what's more important to you, all right? Living in Texas or each other?
Our interracial love is strong enough to get us through anything.
Yeah. Our love is stronger than anything Texas has to offer. Yeah. Hey babe, let's turn right in here. We're running low on gas, right? What is this place? Is it Busey's? I think it is. Hey babe, I'm gonna go inside. This pump is broken. It says gas is only $2.99 a gallon.
That's impossible.
Yeah, right?
Gas in California costs...
See, my question is why is it got to be one or the other?
In reference to the price of gas?
No, I mean like back in the their shrink session. Like why can't they have like the best of both?
Sure.
You know, they can still, adapt to their surroundings and still have their love for each other. There's no reason why they can't.
That's true. It happens, like for example, people who are Christians will live with unbelievers and stuff.
I mean, this is the type of psychiatrist that I find to be deplorable that gives psychiatrists a bad name.
Yeah, that's not a good psychiatrist at all. That's actually they're taking a negative approach to psychology.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to actually approach this. I've done some counseling before. You're supposed to approach it from a positive note and looking to bind the two up, not to divide them. So
exactly.
That's horrible. I've seen this done in marriages where it divides the marriage even more. It's like, what do you like about? Why don't you like about your you're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah,
that's not how it's working. You're supposed to address the positivity and build on top of that. And the things that are wrong, you give, the proper counsel needed, but it's never to destroy
or demean.
It's to demean. It's to build people up. Yeah.
So, just wanted to point that out because that kind of drove me nuts. It was like,
yeah,
what is she doing? I mean, like,
crazy.
Why? And the sad part
That,
is
that
to,
spirit of competition shouldn't even be there. That spirit of competition, it shouldn't even be there in our marriage in the first place.
and in this day and age, you're getting more and more psychiatrists like this.
It's crazy. More
You know?
division, right? Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Good point.
$7, and Biden said that's always been the case.
Right?
I'm gonna come too. I don't want anyone to profile you.
Hey, Clay! Hey, Stephen Timpany, what are you guys, stalking me or something? Hey, why aren't you wearing that hat that we picked out together?
Hey, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm just getting myself some dinner.
At a gas station?
Oh, this is far more than a gas station. You ain't never been to Buc-ee's before?
No, but I like the chipmunk, though. Seems very friendly.
It's a beaver. All right, anyway, I got to get going. You two have fun. You know, you should shoot one of them Tic Tac videos, you know, the China ones.
You do that. I'm gonna go use the all-gender bathroom. I hope there's not a line.
Oh, there won't be. There won't be.
Hi, welcome in.
I feel so welcomed. Buc-ee's. This is nuts. Jerky, jerky, jerky. Bucky onesies for one day. Bucky umbrellas. Oh, Bucky. When I look into his smiling eyes, I just can't help but be happy. It's like being inside joy. As if joy was a tangible thing that I could wrap around me and hug like a blanket. Never in my life have I been this content. Bucky! I'm home.
Just hot and spicy jerky, just teriyaki jerky, turkey jerky, Jamaican jerky.
Steve, who are you talking to?
Babe, they have so much jerky in there. They have pepper jerky, they have black and pepper jerky, and they have lemon pepper jerky. Not that I would eat any of that.
Okay, enough about meat. Do you know that they have 80 bathroom stalls in there? And the entire bathroom is cleaner than ours at home. Even since I started making you pee sitting down.
This place is amazing.
Plus, I found this jalapeno cheddar collage.
Is that gluten-free?
Uh-huh.
Is that meat?
No! Do not take this joy away from me!
I love this store!
Me too. And even though I don't have a gun, everyone else in there does.
Right?
No one's gonna rob this place. I feel safe!
I think I'm gonna get some more jerky.
Honey, I can't help but feel there's something between us.
Somewhere along this journey called life, we seem to have lost our way. And although I fear for the course ahead, I know what we must do.
What?
We have to move back to California.
No way. Oh, the geniusness of Babylon B is something to admire.
Right?
They're all good. You know, she's coming around though. She was coming around.
I know. Like it was so awesome to see. It's like she's finally getting into the spirit of it.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. It must be nice living in Texas. It makes me want to go visit. Honestly, I was just like, oh, this is nice.
It is. Texas is awesome. Driving when I was driving tractor trailer, I stopped at a Buc-ee's once because they actually have like truck stops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like an entire supermarket in
Wow.
a gas station. Like it's massive.
That's beautiful. Everything is big at Texas, they say.
Everything's
Texas?
bigger in Texas.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that was great. I really appreciate that one as well. Yeah, these Babylon Bee business is fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And like you know, it was like legit. Like they have a whole wall of jerky. Like it's like
That's
you just
exactly
kind of stand back and you're just like dumbfounded. Like I didn't know there were that many kinds of jerky.
Yeah. Only in Texas. That's beautiful. Well, let me share a final verse here to close. If you have anything, you can share as well. This is what I got. This is coming from Matthew 13:13. And this is kind of like giving a picture of everything we talked about today. And I think the word endurance will be a good word. It really means to bear under. When you study that word, is very similar to bear under a heavy weight, but it's also oftentimes used in the context of persecution. So endurance is one of the best thing you're gonna need to make it in these last days, especially when the suicide rate is so bad. People are just giving up. But the thing is, you have to endure. Now it says, "You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, and he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved." First, this applied to the disciples and the apostles in the early church and how they were persecuted for their faith, as we know it, historically speaking. But this is going to have another application. There's a double application to this. A time is coming where we're going to be hated for believing in God and trusting in his word and standing on his law. I don't think we've seen it yet, but I think that's where we are headed. There you have it. But he who endures until the end, he that endures till the end, the same shall be saved. So the question is, am I going to make it and be faithful to God until the end? That's the big question that we all have to answer when it comes to it all. I just wanted to share that. And I will pray to you. I will pray for you and with you that starting now, it's a matter of faith. I think Luke 18. Let me share one more thing. It's a matter of faith when it comes to making it in these final days against all these issues that our world is going through, whether it's politics or politics, however you want to approach that. There it is. There was a city and a judge. Yeah, there it is. Man, always to pray and not faint. Shall I? There it is. So this is talking about. It's a very beautiful parable. Actually, it's a true story as well. This woman who had lost her husband, and the husband had owed some money, and they were coming to take the children away. So this parable is built on that foundation where she will go to this judge and plead with the judge, avenge me of my adversaries. So avenge me of mine adversaries. So she will plead for the judge to help. The judge didn't want to help, but she kept on asking until the judge came to her rescue. And God used that to say, shall not God avenge his own elect? There it is. Shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he be along with them? I'll tell you, he shall avenge them speedily. This thing here is about persistent faith. This is what this is about. Persistent faith, persistent willingness to go after God for courage, strength, endurance, long suffering for solution. There is to be like an attitude that we have when it comes to knocking on God's door. We have to keep on banging. There are some things that God wants to do, but he wants us to hunger a little bit more for him to answer. And that goes with whether it is healing, a situation, a family member. Just keep on knocking. Keep on knocking until Jesus does something about your situation. He says, nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And this is the big question right there. So the challenge is in these final days, when Jesus returned, he asked the question, am I going to find faith on the earth? Am I going to find people who actually believe in me when I come back? Which tells me, I had preached a whole sermon on this, which tells me whatever is happening in the earth in these final days are going to be so difficult that very few are going to have faith to remain strong with Jesus. And that means then we need to start working on our faith. Romans 10:17 says, faith cometh by hearing, hearing by the word of God. You can pray for faith. Luke 17 verse 5 says, Lord, increase my faith. There are many other promises in the Bible where God speaks about our faith. The father who cried, I think it's in Mark 9:24, where he cries out, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. So make it a priority to work on your faith in Jesus, because you're going to need that. I'm going to need that to make it in these final days. All right, narrator.
And to continue along that line of train of thought, I want to share this.
Okay.
I don't need sound, so I can share it without sound. Ephesians 6:18 says, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Powerful.
It's saying, pray for each other and take into account one another and their needs as well as your own.
That's right.
And lift each other up.
Yeah.
Don't leave anybody behind.
Beautiful.
And if they're lacking in faith, pray for them that their faith might be strengthened as well as your own.
You notice how this is connected to what I just shared, because the word perseverance here is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's why I chose it.
There we go. So there needs to be a perseverance. And that lady was praying, in essence. It was typology of what it means to pray to God, which is perfectly good. And notice, like, this is actually in the context of the whole armor of God.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you got all the armor, and it's like after you put on all the entire armor, he tells you, go pray. Go pray. The belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, and the helmet of salvation. Once you're done, put everything on, he tells you, go pray. Pray always. And thank you for that one. Powerful. So we need to be praying for each other. So with that being said, I would like to pause now and pray. I want to acknowledge those families who've lost loved ones. Praying for God to heal, to maintain, to keep and sustain them in this difficult time, and for God to bless you as well. Let us pause and pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the time we spent together today. We're asking that this live stream will be used as a means to reach the hearts of those who are in need of a word from the Lord to minister to their hearts. And also, Father, I pray that those who are listening, those who have visited us today, will be blessed. Lord, I pray that you will also watch over those families who are suffering the loss of their loved ones today, those who are hurting in hospitals as a result of this mass shooting, Father, this senseless killing of people who did nothing to them. I'm asking for the LGBT community to be protected and cared for much more, that your love will penetrate their heart. You will place your edge of protection around them as well. And those who are repentant, those who are seeking the Lord, that you will lead them to the cross. Once again, we surrender this matter to you. We pray that you will be with my friend Darth Vader. Continue to bless him with the wisdom and knowledge. Thank you for all the reactors, YouTubers that we've listened to today. Continue to bless their channels as well. And continue to use these videos in a way that will give you glory. We pray and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so very much. Crystal fascist only gonna get worse. What is crystal fascist?
Christian fascists, I believe, is what it's getting at.
Okay. That's a real thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, but I think we have bigger issues when you read Revelation. It's worse than that. But anyway, thank you for that. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. Until next time, remember to look unto Jesus to live by faith. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. See yous. Oh boy, it's been real. Let me